Jake, I'm
Like,
sorry. Could you
yeah,
do me a
stuff like that.
solid? Could you bring your camera a little bit closer to our eye level, if that's doable? I don't know if it is or not. You're just making yourself shorter.
Redwood of a man.
Is that just
I mean, that's
yeah? I mean, I respect it. That honestly, I think that works. That works. Are you comfortable?
Just power over GB.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Now, don't you fix yourself. You just get that. All right, let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rebooked, the show where we talk about the men and the women who've been slapping all of the meat and the stories they tell in the middle of the square circle. Of course, I'm GB. You also have Matt, and you cannot forget about Jake, aka that's a very powerful finger.
Yeah, that
pointing.
surprised me.
We have to cut that out.
We have to cut that out. Okay, so then
because that is not public knowledge.
We should we'll bleep
Let's
it.
restart.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's bleep it, and then this way we add to the suspense of it. Okay, so this way people know. So Scan, if you're watching this, make sure you bleep out what I had said, and we'll figure out the editing later on.
At a later date, you'll determine what this.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Of course, folks, this is the show where we talk about all the latest and greatest happening with the storylines across all of professional wrestling. And there was a lot to digest this weekend because we didn't just have AEW's biggest show of the year, but we also had WWE throwing on some big shows as well. And this week, we're getting ready because it's TNA Slammiversary, the biggest show for TNA this year. It's going to be awesome.
Nope.
No, it's even big.
No, BFG is Armenia.
Well, this one's pretty big, though, for this year. I mean, the hype is crazy for it right now.
That is very true. So in terms of the scale of the event, we're trying to make probably the biggest show we've had in the past 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
True. That's
true. Yeah. How dare you
Typically,
make me a liar?
Sorry, no, we're both right.
Yes,
because our narrative flow.
Sorry that he tried to build up.
Yeah, right. Like here I am,
trying to big it up. I know.
Dare you, Jimmy?
Never again. Well, no, dare I?
No, this pay-per-view shit. Don't worry about it.
No, it's gonna be amazing.
It's amazing.
We have a crazy card, and we're gonna be giving our predictions for that, and all the good stuff. But first, let's just dive right into it because it kind of goes into the weekend and everything. AEW All In just concluded, and it was awesome.
Just now.
Yeah, just now. That's how long that show was. So a couple funny things. Firstly, I posted on the Rebook Instagram that I was going to post more, but the cell service was terrible in the venue, so I genuinely couldn't get anything out there. Outside of my one post on Blue Sky at the end, that was like all I was able to get out. That being said, I do have some pictures, so I will be uploading them to the Instagram account because I was there, as I had mentioned previously, and it was awesome.
I wish I could believe you, but there's no proof of that.
There's no proof. You never know. I didn't get this shirt out of nowhere, though. This shirt was great, by the way. The merch was amazing. This is Hanger's shirt with the cowboy boot and the flowers and everything because he loves his flowers. It was just a really fun show.
He got them this Saturday.
Oh, he definitely did. So let's go ahead and talk just about it in general. Let's get the high level out there because I had a great time. I was in person, so my experience was a little different. I did go back and watch it afterwards, and it was as awesome. I do got to give commentary a ton of credit. They absolutely nailed a lot of like the storyline points that were really important for a lot of the matches. I really was impressed with the commentary, so it was a thing that I was missing in the venue as I was watching it live. But I want to hear from you guys. So Jake, what'd you think of what you caught of All In, and your overall thoughts?
I'm mostly one thing I'm curious about is what the energy was like there.
Oh,
because sometimes it felt like sometimes it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of energy, but I'm hearing like people were like, no, there was a lot of energy at the stadium.
It was pretty. I mean, there were definitely look, let's not beat around the bush. It was a long ass show, and it was like there were points there where I was fading, where I was like, oh man, I'm tired. But then we got into the triple main event, and I felt like the energy ramped up. Obviously, Adam Cole came out and said his stuff about having to relinquish the TNT title, and that was really sad. And that did dampen the mood a little bit in the venue for sure, but it was very necessary. And of course, I did get a chance.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Golden Boy's blaming.
No, but yes, but also
blaming Adam Cole.
I did get a chance
ruining All In.
I had a chance to work with Cole when he did an HCS event with us a while ago, and we exchanged numbers, and he's a really nice guy. So I just texted him and was like, hey, hope you're well, and like wished him well and all that stuff, and seemed like obviously you bummed out no matter how you shake it, and it was just really it really sucked, and I know a lot of people in the venue felt like really bummed for him. Everything I heard around was I hope he's okay, that was like the overall consensus around us in my section. But that being said, though, energy wise, it was definitely, there were some ups and there were some downs, but the ups were very high. And like when Hangman won, that was deafening. When Bryanson came out, deafening. Like I couldn't hear myself. Like I was chanting and I lost my voice. Like it was crazy. And even like in the women's title match, same thing there. When Toni won, deafening. Like it was really like there were moments for sure. But yeah, I mean the overall vibe was pretty awesome. People were just happy, and I think overall, like that was the vibe that I got for most of the weekend. A lot of new AEW fans as well. That was one that I heard around a lot, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, I just got into them this year," or another guy that I met next to me, his brother got him into it. His younger brother got him into it. He'd always been a WWE guy, but he liked the way that his words were, "I like the way AEW wrestles." And I was like, oh, that's how I feel as well. Like I like the way that they do it. Not to say I don't like the other ways. And again, it was kind of that. It was at no point did I ever feel like there was a sense of tribalism or anything. It just feel like people were just there to enjoy, have a good time, and yeah. Oh, and then there was one only issue I had was that they stopped serving drinks ahead of the second, ahead of Kenny and Okada. I wanted a drink for that match. And I was saving myself, like a good Christian boy, for that moment. And then they took the drinks away. And the only way for me to get drinks was like go inside of like where the area was for the floor seat people. And that was just too much effort. So,
oh man, you were going to have to go in with all the other peasants.
Yeah, no.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was actually a custom area in the dugout where you can go get drinks. It was really cool, but it was too far and I was lazy. And also, I wanted to watch Okada and Omega clash. So anyway, yeah, that was it. I mean, that was like the vibes in the venue. I felt like it was like I said, it was a long show. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, there were points where I was like fading away. But good wrestling brings you back, right? So that's and that's just how the cookie crumbles. So yeah. So what else, Jake, on the matches themselves? If we want to go through some of the matches real fast and kind of talk about some of the results, we can talk about thoughts individually on those things if you guys are down to do that, rather than a more overall picture. Let's talk about the Casino Gauntlet for both the men's and the women's side. We'll start with the women's side because this one to me was such a surprise, was Athena winning the Casino Gauntlet. Now, not a surprise because Athena is Athena and she's like the longest reigning Ring of Honor women's champion and she's awesome. But just surprised that they finally did the thing for her. Was that kind of the consensus with you guys as well?
No.
Okay.
It was a surprise until her music hit. And then I was like, oh, she's winning.
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, like when her music hit, I just was like, oh, it feels like she's gonna win. Like we're in Texas, her home state. She's been due for something like this.
Fair.
And yeah, when she came out, I was like, oh, it's gotta be Athena. And I don't mean that in a like a
no, that makes sense.
I didn't 100% expect her in the gauntlet, but yeah, as soon as she came out, I was like, oh, it has to be her. It has to.
Yeah.
But like, and pleasantly it was. You know, like I don't mean that as a, we've talked about this before, predictability doesn't mean it's boring. And like I said, it only became predictable when she entered the match.
Yeah.
But like, I just am super happy for her. Like you can tell that she just like pro wrestling is in her blood. Like she just loves it. You can tell how much fun she has, how much it means to her in front of as many people as she can. And and you could tell that everyone was super happy for her that she won. Because again, it just feels like something that's been long overdue. I mean, not to say that she's not been doing nothing. She's the longest reigning women's Ring of Honor champion. And has been kicking ass for a long time, but now she gets like a big shot. And I will say though, when that happened, when she won, I was like, oh, that didn't just telegraph the winner of the Women's World Championship match, did it?
I thought the same thing. Because
I was like, oh man, that almost makes me feel like Mercedes is a lock now.
Yeah. I thought the same exact. A lot of people in my section were saying the same thing. They're like, well, I guess that means Mercedes definitely winning. And everyone had that opinion. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. So, and that made it even more entertaining when, you know, you felt going into that, like you might know, like they might have telegraphed it a bit and then, you know, went the other way. But like, anyway, the women's casino gauntlet was fantastic. I mean, it just showcased how great the women's division is. I think they're a little underutilized, personally. I think we could see more of the women on the shows, you know, that aren't just Mercedes and Toni. And I understand that they're your champions and they're the big draws. And honestly, they're the top of the card for a reason. But it was so great to see so many other women in that match and really get great highlights. And some people got some great pops. People love Willow.
Yeah.
I mean, she got a massive pop when she came out and it's just
clapping.
Great to see.
It was great.
Yeah.
All in
so
unison.
it was great to see. I mean, every woman had a great moment and it was a really entertaining match.
Yeah. I thought Megan Bayne was going to take it because it felt like it was a good opportunity for that. But then, you know, ATHENA coming up with that win. Also saw some new debuts as well at this one. We saw Alex Windsor, who she's showing up now in AEW. Shuri as well, who she's not an individual I knew much about, but I looked up after the fact. And yeah, you know, pretty prolific wrestler in her own right. So to Jake's point, Matt, you know, like there is an opportunity now to very much get in front and showcase a lot of this, especially this new talent that they've scooped up here. Was giving ATHENA that win in the Casino Gauntlet. Was this a good call? Do you see something long term happening here potentially?
Yeah, you'd be silly not to. This is their Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They, you know, every year at All In when they do this is their version of the Royal Rumbles. It's a little bit different style, even though it's similar in some nature. Like it's just the idea of you can get surprises, you can get debuts, returns, and there's a lot of freedom to create. You know, like it could be an ATHENA, very obviously, but then last minute shenanigans and somebody gets rid of her and takes her out of the match or whatever, and or you know takes her out of the equation. There's a lot of those X factors. So it's always exciting because you never quite know. Are they going to go with an old faithful like they kind of did in the men's MJF, certified star, but makes sense for the story? Or are they gonna maybe surprise us with a surprise elevation of someone of like, holy crap, their moment is coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was kind of in between. You know, ATHENA's not a former, you know, champion. She's not a top established star on the main AEW roster. She's very well. That's probably not fair, but you know what I mean. She hasn't been.
Yeah,
in that
no, I know what you're talking about
yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's not like a new person finally getting a shot in the arm. It's just
Yeah.
like Jake said, long overdue, I think, in many people's opinions.
Yeah.
And I think this, it better set up something long term, or at least something significant, and not just like random pay-per-view or Dynamite title shot with Toni and then bye.
Yeah.
She's put in so much work and been holding down the Ring of Honor circuit. I feel like this is her time coming up.
Yeah, this is that is definitely the assessment that I've pulled from that as well, because I think if when she got brought in, there was a lot of question marks regarding like, oh well, what is she gonna do? How is she gonna fit? And then she goes to Ring of Honor, becomes women's champion there, holds that belt for a really long time now. And, I was hearing like a lot of the discourse and reading a lot of discourse. Oh, they're wasting her. But while she's been down there, she's been having banger matches with people like Queen Aminata, who was in the Casino Gauntlet, that has leveled up. People like Red Velvet, who have leveled up. They're the current TV champion. Billy Starks, who have leveled up. She's only like improved that division, which in turn has improved AEW and their women's division, because, you get a Queen Aminata who now can go into a feud with a Tekla like right out of the gate, and they can have like their thing. Even though Tekla's like established where she was at, Queen Aminata is now established within AEW and Ring of Honor. Like, there's a lot of good that they did there, and now she's coming up, and I think it's time. It's time for Athena's moment to really I kind of want them. I don't want her to drop the Ring of Honor title. I actually want her to win it and win both and piss off Mercedes even more.
I was going to say, it'd be interesting if she could pull off what Mercedes could.
Exactly. Which I think is very compelling. But we'll of course keep eyes on that as we move forward.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Ooh.
That I think a little bit. I don't know if I'd so much call it fantasy booking.
That's
so
fine. That's fine. I'm holding.
But there might be some in between changes, but I have a very strong feeling your next 3 women's world champions. I don't think we're going to have Toni for another 2 years. I think I'm going to guess drop it to Athena, whether it's at All Out or another 6 months from now. I don't know. But I think your next 3 women's world champions for AEW are awesome. All women of color too, which is great. I think are going to be Athena, Mercedes, and Willow. I think this next year and a half,
I think that's
going to make top stars out of all of them.
Yeah. Oh,
I can
dude,
see
that's
Athena
exciting.
getting a babyface run, Mercedes being a real crappy heel and stealing it from Athena, and then run back the Mercedes Willow rivalry from when Mercedes debuted, and have Willow take it off Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good next year of the women's division.
You really do give yourself a good runway, I think, with that, for sure. I mean, you even have Chris Statlander, who's in that mix as well. That, I think with Willow in the fray, they're always going to have their beef, which I think is really good.
And then you have Toni Storm win the TBS title and recrown it the TCM title.
Yeah, dude. Bro, that would be genius.
To keep her in the picture. Or to keep her in the pictures, as they say.
You're a star, darling. You're a star. Yeah. There were a couple subtle things I wanted to talk about with the match with Toni and Mercedes, which we'll get to in a little bit. But something that I really picked up and I really appreciated in this event was the subtle little things that AEW did with their storytelling leading up to this event. And we talked about how things can go in any which way, and it's exciting nonetheless. And that was kind of like the vibe the entire time. Case in point, MJF, he wins the Casino Gauntlet. And now we knew that this was very well going to be a possibility, but they have laid out so much groundwork with Hangman and MJF that this has the makings to be something really special. It's just a matter of when they pull the trigger on it. Do they go at All Out? Do they do this at Forbidden Door? We'll have to figure out when that timing is. It's not a match you do on Dynamite, but if they do it on a Dynamite, I expect something to come from it. What happened?
Well, you said doo-doo.
Doo-doo. Alrighty. I'm so sorry. I said doo-doo, and We're all millennials, so we can't help it. But yeah, no. So yeah, there's like some good groundwork being laid there. Not much more to talk about, but I did want to give one nod real fast, if you guys don't mind, because we did have a return at the Casino Gauntlet, and I don't know how I feel about this, because Juice Robinson came back without a beard. and I am not,
that's Bo Dallas.
You know how many people said that as he was walking out? They were like, yo, he looks just like Bo Dallas. I was like, oh no. But yeah, Juice came out and there was a really cool video that Austin Gunn posted of the reaction when people heard
he's
Juice's theme, and he was like shocked that people remembered. Just wholesome moment. So I did want to give a shout out. It was really cool to see him in the match. He was great. Looking forward to seeing what the Bang Bang Gang can do now that they're all back running full steam. Then we had another return as well that was pretty big. Well, first we'll talk about the match, because the tag team title match, Hurt Syndicate retained over Jet Speed and the Patriarchy, which is what we called. We said there's no reason why the Hurt Syndicate would lose the titles right now. And we were right. And my God, did they look like freaking gods throughout the entirety of that match. Really cool stuff.
But everybody else got their stuff in too. I thought it was
it was competitive. Yeah,
it was pretty competitive until it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then what happened at the end of the match is what we want to talk about, because we had called and we posted up a video on this on the Rebooked shorts and TikTok and wherever else you want to check us out. Make sure you go to rebooked.com, rebookedpod.com for all of that. But we called it. We said Nick Wayne's going to turn on Christian, or Christian's going to turn on Nick Wayne. Something's going to happen. And it did.
Hey, hold up. I'm going to throw it down here. We didn't call it. To be fair, the man with the hat called it.
Hold on.
It was his. Yep. On the day, on our last recording, it was him and only him who fired off that prediction. And
yep.
My God.
And what ends up happening is the legend, the man himself, Adam Copeland, aka Cope, aka Edge, but for legal reasons we can only call him Cope. He returns. And it was awesome. And that was another deafening moment as well, by the way.
Eventually saved Christian.
Yes. We have
after about 5 minutes.
It was very hard before you go saving. You know what I mean? It was very Jeff Hardy dancing on the runway before his brother gets brutalized. Yeah, it was very much that.
It's my one. It was a cool moment, but it is my one. I'm like, that's great when you're interrupting a promo. But when you're making, and I get him and Christian have very bad blood in AEW currently, right? So I get, but at the same time, if the moment is intended to interrupt an action, you need to go interrupt the action. Then hit him with the pose in the ring after the bad guys are clear.
That's true. That would be cool.
It's very small, truly, at the end of the day, but it does make me laugh whenever it ends up happening.
I was hype as shit when it happened. So I feel you for sure. And I hear your rational thought process. And all of it makes a lot of sense. But man, was I throwing the horn so hard in those moments. I was just
sure.
Yeah, I was like, it was incredible. No, but you're right on that. But Cope makes his way down there, saves the day. Eventually, Christian is laid out on the ground, picks him up, and then says, "Go find yourself," is what he tells his best friend. That. And it was very subtle. Loved it. All I'm saying is, give me a series of Christian Cage finding himself. You know,
yes, I think you have to
imagine. And I want it like, you know, that photo of Macho Man sitting on the pier.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's the kind
of. Wait, no, hold on.
Wait, was it Macho Man?
We're missing. It is, but and you're 100% right. Yes. But us as Rebooked, you're missing the well we always go to. Which is The Office. And so since Christian wears turtlenecks, I think he needs to go to the park with bread
and sit on and throw full slices of bread.
Full slices of white bread at pigeons and crows.
This is the energy. This is the energy that we want for Christian Cage. For those of you who are listening, we have a picture of Michael Scott, played by the great Steve Carell from The Office, rocking his turtleneck in the park after he just got
and then
roasted.
he comes back and roasts everybody.
Nick Wayne, you look like a delivery boy trapped in a room. Roasted.
Boom, roasted.
Like I get about like Kip Sabian, you got to cut your hair, roasted. You know, like there's a lot of things. The blonde and the black ain't working, roasted. You know, like a lot of things you could do. No, seriously, they have to do it. They have to do something, or at the very least, give us the Macho Man pose looking away. I'll take that too. Crazy thing that happened is that Dustin Rhodes is the TNT champion, which that one, okay, full transparency, I didn't think Dustin was going to win. So I used that as an opportunity to go to the bathroom and because I was like, oh, Kyle's going to win for sure. So I'm in line,
Kyle Fletcher,
waiting.
Yeah.
And then I hear ding, 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 dun, dun, dun. I was like, wait, that's Dustin's music. And then I hear, no, TNT. I couldn't freaking believe my mind. I went back and I watched it, and it was another great freaking match with good storytelling. Like the old, crafty, wily veteran manages to get one over the ambitious young star who has him tied up in a dragon tamer and he cannot release. So he actually scoops him over when he gets the opportunity for the pin for the small package count. And his protege can't stop it because he got thrown out because he went too crazy. Kyle Fletcher gets removed from the occasion because everyone hated that guy and his balls were absolutely eviscerated. Everything about it was great. It was a really well-constructed match, which is what I'd come to expect from Dustin. But the fact that he won, I was just so happy for the guy. It's like that was but I mean, I'm guessing now though, if it was a good moment without a doubt, and it felt like they chased a great moment. But Kyle Fletcher gets his belt eventually, right? I mean, it feels like a foregone conclusion.
Because I came into the show like halfway through when I was watching it the day of. I went back and then kind of caught the stuff I missed. But so like as I was watching the show and catching up on earlier results, I had the same almost even reaction. I was just like, wait, what? Hit? And then watching the match back and watching the clips of him talking about it and everything, I really, because I'm like, this Kyle Fletcher, full stop, no chance anyone else. Everyone else is awesome, but no shot. Even if Cole was in the match, I was still going with Fletcher, right? We all kind of predicted it.
Yeah, we did.
But after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't hate this result. And is this Dustin's first singles title in AEW?
Yes.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
And first singles title in a long ass time, including his WWE time. He's done a bunch of tag things with Cody and now with the Von Erichs and Sammy and all this stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's been, I don't have, somebody will correct me, but I imagine well over a decade, maybe 2 decades since he's won a singles title. And so to see, and he's so good about just being real and raw. His emotion was real. It was one of those cool moments of like giving you just one. And the guy, if you know him, you know, he'll be the first to complain about being old and all this stuff. But like, and he's not all gassed up and everything, but he keeps himself in just good athletic shape. Like he can still go. He's not Kyle Fletcher, but like he can still go. He can still move pretty lickety split. And like, he's still just such a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And to have this as one of those moments of like, I'm not even going to say an attaboy because he deserves way more than an attaboy, but just like a little bit of a nudge to like, thank you for, because he contributes a lot backstage and everything.
I learned from him my brief run. He was the producer that I worked with when I did like a couple of backstage stuff. And I learned so much from just hearing him talk. Like, dude, just he's a wealth of like knowledge.
That too. Yeah. The best ones, even at TNA, like, they're putting the match together, but the good ones will also come to us and be like, hey, this is what's going on. Here's the story we're trying to tell. Because they know they'll do it before the talent will sometimes. So, So I thought it was after watching the moment back, I'm like, this is nice. This is a good moment. But to that point, I don't think it's a super long reign.
But your TNT title doesn't need to have super long reigns, in my opinion. Not all the time. I think
maybe next big pay-per-view, Kyle Fletcher takes it, and we get a Don Callis reign of terror in the TNT division.
Yeah. I think so. And but yeah, to that point, I just wanted to also commend, like you said, the storytelling in the match. We oftentimes talk about the story leading into the match, but sometimes there's a really good story in the match. And I was like really picking up what they were putting down with that one. There were 4 really wild ones. First things first, Young Bucks, Swerve and Ospreay, just freaking awesome. This was so fun to watch live, but the Young Bucks really leaning into the Founding Fathers gimmick, and it was insane.
We could cut an hour off of the show if they hadn't done that entrance.
True, we actually could have. But this is it. The Young Bucks have lost their EVP title, and they're just one of the guys now, 2 of the guys now. That's it. But this was another one that had a really good story that was being told in the match. The story was, how can 2 guys who are world-class, world title-holding wrestlers work together to defeat what could be considered one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest tag team in the world, depending on who you talk to, right? And throughout the match, you were seeing the Young Bucks just constantly get the upper hand. In every single team scenario, Young Bucks were constantly getting the upper hand until Swerve and Will started to work together, find ways, creative ways to work together, and then the match started to tip on their side, and then that's when things started getting crazy. It was such a well-told match in the ring, but it obviously leads now to EVPs losing their titles. First, you guys, Jake, if you want to talk about the match, but also what comes next, because it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally have eliminated that story device of them being EVPs.
I agree.
I think it's going to open a lot more stuff for the Bucks to do and to be involved in. I'd love to see it in some way lead to them turning face again. They're just so fun as faces. And it feels like maybe we could be heading in that direction. Like, is this something that will finally humble the Young Bucks?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? That's something to think about. I mean, they no longer have their titles. You know, the horse that they bet on in the championship match lost. So I'm really interested in seeing how things develop for them. Are they finally going to get some of the things that have been coming to them for a long time? Are they going to finally reap what they sow? I thought it was probably, aside from the championship match, I think was the best storytelling and furthered the most story than any other match on the night. And
I would agree with that.
And it was really interesting. I loved how I loved the story they told in the match itself of them just being a seasoned tag team with an incredible chemistry, while Ospreay and Swerve were trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they were both wrestling as singles competitors. That's the style they were both wrestling in that match until they finally started to work together. And I thought that was super compelling. It made our faces feel more in danger of losing the match. And it just was a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, it was, I think it might be my favorite match on the card. I think that might have been my favorite match on the card.
I think that is a completely fair one, because it was like, there were a lot of people in the moment when that match ended around me that were saying that was one of the best like matches they've ever seen, which was like kind of
and
wild.
It was super clean. I mean, they just told the story, the 4 of them, and because I don't think there were, I'm trying to remember, because there's been so much wrestling this weekend. Nobody ran in during that, right?
No.
Nobody tried to interfere. And that's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
That's what it needed to be, because you're saving all those shenanigans for later. There couldn't be any during that match. And it just,
that's something I want to commend AEW on, because back in the day, they were really bad at that. where like everyone was having interference or very similar spots, and it was very clear there was no cohesion within like what people were doing in the show and the broader show. So you were getting a lot of samey looking spots while at the same time getting a lot of samey looking moments with the run-ins and everything. This show, the reason why I think a lot of people really like this show and they maybe don't necessarily realize it yet is that it was paced, despite the fact that it went long, it was paced as far as the matches goes very evenly. It was spread out quite nicely. They saved the bullshit for the end. They knew exactly what they were doing because Mercedes and Toni, no shenanigans, right? Kenny and Okada had shenanigans, but it was just Don Callis, and it's literally the whole thing that he does all the time, right? So that makes somewhat sense. But then you also had like the Hurt Syndicate one, like FTR got involved, but that added to something that's going to happen later on between FTR and the Hurt Syndicate. It was like all done very purposefully, and it didn't feel like I'm trying to remember the event, but I mean, it reminds me of like that when everyone showed up, when everyone debuted, right? When it was like Bryanson debuted, Cole debuted. It was sick, but it was so much was happening. And you're like, it's so similar. Everything's what is happening right now. But this one did actually feel like it was really well constructed, really well thought out. That sorry, I didn't mean to ramble on that one, but it was a thing I definitely picked up on. To that point, though, Matt, anything you want to add on the tag match from your perspective?
No, not much. You guys said it all. The one thing I will say to address some of the conversation out in the world and that I've thought about it, because I sometimes don't like it, but people there's a spot in this match, the big quadruple down kind of spot, right? There was a bunch of bop, 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 bop. They hit the hidden blade and
at
the same time.
Speed spot,
being very, very.
This is so choreographed.
Yeah.
The one that I generally don't like that stuff a ton either, right? I'm a little bit of an old head, but I love this because I also I call out the hypocrisy of even legends in our business talked about wrestling for the past 30 years about wrestling is like what this art is these stories told up to a 10, up to an 11. It's real life superheroes, right?
Yeah.
But then when they do superhero choreography, it's called bullshit. And like, come on. This is supposed to be a live action superhero movie. That's kind of the basis for our business. It's a melodramatic story told out live in front of you with wild over the top action.
If I may.
So when you see a sequence like that, that's incredible. That's exactly what freaking Captain America and Iron Man do. Okay.
Yeah, and if I may, I don't see the difference between a moment like that and like, I don't know, when Bret Hart and Owen Hart had their really awesome exchange going back and forth with different holds trying to get one another, or when Hogan and Ultimate Warrior would clamp hands in the middle of the ring and try and get up on one another. I mean, like it's there are different like
if you watched wrestling and liked the test of strength and don't like this, you're a hypocrite.
That's the difference.
It's all stupid.
Exactly.
If it was real, it's all dumb.
It's all dumb.
Men can also not be thrown 20 feet across the ring just by grabbing your arm. It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
But we accept it. So, like, I get it. If it was, I don't know. So, like, there was a little bit of it was very small hubbub, but there was a hubbub, and I want to call out that.
And also, it is pretty funny because you're seeing those sequences a lot more on other shows now too, and yet there doesn't seem to be much of a blowback to that. And obviously I think it's because of AEW, and for whatever reason it's just weird. Grow up, everyone. It's not that big of a deal. Wrestling's awesome, enjoy it. Let's continue to enjoy some awesome wrestling, because we had then Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm in our triple main event. Again, great matchup. Not really much else to dive into here outside of the surprise of the result, which, of course, is that Toni Storm walks away as AEW Women's World Champion. And it came after a Storm Zero from the middle turnbuckle. It was really good. I mean, the match was fantastic. Between this and Iyo and Rhea, I mean, my God, we were eating with high-quality matches from the women this weekend. Matt, any thoughts on this one?
No, it was good. It was very good. I'm going to contradict myself right now a little bit. I didn't love the right before the finish. She hit 3 pile drivers in a row on Mercedes. Her
Yeah.
finish
The Storm
3
Zeros,
times in
yeah.
a row and still kicked out. Like, I thought that was a tiny bit exciting. And I know that meant you had to go up, but I didn't think you had to hit it 3 freaking times and still have a kick out. Like, I was a little, but literally, that was the only blemish to me in that match. The rest of it, and even that was just like, not my favorite, but I get it. It was building. It's if you're gonna do anything like that, and from the second row pile driver, if there's an event you're gonna do it at,
It's
gonna
one.
be your
Yeah.
biggest event of the year. Like, if you're doing that on a Dynamite, I'm looking more cockeyed at you.
Yeah.
But at the biggest event of the year with the biggest title on the line, have at it.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree with that. That is a very good point you bring up. Jake, anything you want to add on this one before we move on to the other two?
Banger.
Yeah. There's really nothing else you could say about it. Banger for that one.
Really good.
Of course, so that means that Mercedes Moné Toni Storm will continue to be the AEW Women's World Champion. Mercedes Moné will still be the TBS champion, but we'll see what happens there because now that division's all wide open. It is.
And now Toni will defend it against Athena.
Which, and if Athena
and the Gauntlet winners do not it's almost like a Money in the Bank
that was
kind of
confusing
thing, right?
to me. I didn't
apparently. So after at the press conference, Toni said that he's going to have a discussion with the champions to decide whether or not it should be a cash-in type deal or a set date. So they're not even totally sure how they're going to do it yet.
I don't mind that, actually. It's a little like bit of realism in the situation. You know, maybe MJF decides he wants to cash it in for a specific date, but Athena's like, no, actually, I'm going to wait for my moment, or vice versa. You know, I could see it going the other way. That's actually pretty cool. Next up, we had Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. This was the match I literally bought the ticket for when I found out it was happening. For the Unified Championship, silly name aside, I do have some live fantasy booking that I will save for the end, but I'll share that later. Yeah, I mean, this was just Kenny and Okada doing what they do best. A lot of people noted it was a slower match, but you also have to factor in that they're both older guys now. Even though the moments that were impactful were still impactful. Kenny obviously sold the gut thing pretty much the entirety of the match. Which, do you think that hurt or helped the match overall, Matt? Like, given your perspective on how that plays out sometimes.
Well, it depends on the lens you're looking at it through. The point you just made, I think it helped the match because they're not going to be able to go at the same pace they did 10 years ago in Japan.
It's unrealistic.
Unless you're androided up or gassed up on wild juice and stuff like that. But, you know, like, time takes its toll on you. So, like, they weren't going to work that kind of pace, 40 minutes of literally nonstop flying diving spot, right? Not going to happen.
And they still did it despite it, right? I mean, like, they were still doing some of it.
Still were. It's not like they were just wombling around the ring, just grabbing chin locks. But that story of the diverticulitis and whatever, the kidney and all that stuff, it allows them to slow that pace down, but tell a really good story, a more deliberate story, of attacking a weak good guy in, you know, where it hurts. So yeah, if you were looking for Wrestle Kingdom 12 years ago, I'm sorry, but I think it helped them as opposed to them just trying to do that and then maybe falling short.
Yeah.
Tell a little bit of a differently paced story. Even though I do feel the ending kind of fell flat a little bit, kind of came out of nowhere. The match otherwise was very good though.
Yeah.
It was very good.
I agree with that. The ending was very much like, whoa, I didn't
that's it?
Like, he did the one and that was it. It was over. Cool. But
it felt like It's Always Sunny when Dennis is describing his movie with sex in it. And he's like, and then it just sort of ends.
You're like,
Like,
oh,
that's
that's
just-
it. That's it. Nothing
yeah.
else. But that does mean that Okada is the unified champion. And Jake, I want to float this theory by you real fast, right? Because we've been thinking about why they called it the unified champion, right? What if they end up unifying it again? And this time they call it the AEW Unified World Championship, except this time it's Okada going after Hangman to unify the titles, and then we finally get rid of it all once and for all. Am I off the goop?
I strongly dislike that. Strongly.
I mean, I figured as much, but I was thinking, I was like, oh, you know, the unified name,
just a symbiote title. Like anytime it comes in contact with another title,
just globbles another one
into
alive. Yeah.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, like a Texas belt buckle. That's kind of funny idea.
Now you're saying it, and I'm not hating it. So you know, but no, I mean, Okada wins unified title. I really do think the smart money is going to be on a Konosuke Takeshita realizing that his importance in the Don Callis family maybe not as prevalent as it once was, making our dear friend the Thumb, Don Callis, needing to choose between the person who has the title or the person that he has propped up to this point, the alpha that he bigged up. He literally got Konosuke in so he could beat Okada, so he could beat Ospreay, so he could beat all these people. Or not Okada, but Omega, excuse me. That's where I think the story goes from here. But curious to know if you guys have anyone that you think would fit really well in this unified title picture now that Okada's got it.
I mean, it's got to be Takeshita. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who could, but I mean, that has it written all over it.
I want Okada to be defending it more. Like, he didn't get a chance to do it. He did a decent amount of the Continental Championship, but I definitely think like Okada needs to be wrestling more. And also, apparently because Okada won, the unified title will be defended under Continental Championship rules, which means no interference. So Tony Khan said in the press conference that had Don Callis interfered in the match or moving forward, he would be like fired or whatever and removed from the premises. I was like, okay, I like that. Do you guys like that the Continental rules still stand, or you think it's dumb?
I like it.
You
like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised. I thought you guys didn't like it last time.
No. I like it. I didn't like that. What was it? Like, I didn't like. It wasn't the Continental rules that I ever had. It was just that the title was like never defended. And,
yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
We never really saw it, and then I wish the Continental Classic was for something else. I didn't love something about that.
Well, apparently the Continental Classic will continue as well.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
They said both lineages technically, right? Until if and when they decide to split it again.
Yeah. Both lineages will count, and and I do think that's interesting. Yeah, so like if you win the unified, then that means you won the international and you also won the Continental, is like what they're saying, I'm assuming, or something to that degree. Who knows? The brutality that was the Texas Deathmatch main event. Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page. This was crazy. And the fact that we were 5 minutes into the match and we were already getting the insane blood from Moxley. But I do want to take a second to give flowers to Jon Moxley. The man sells like no one else. That final moment with him being hung,
I mean, it's hard to not.
The blank face. I mean, it's hard not to, right? When given the context
when you're
of
being
it.
Stabbed in the forehead with a fork, when you're being hung by a chain from the. I mean, it's
he
hard
laid
to
on a
not
bed
sell.
of spikes. But if there's one thing, Mox did give everything for and every match for this run, and you do got to give him credit, even if the story was all over the place. At the end of the event, when Mox was walking away, a lot of people were chanting "Thank you, Moxley." He walked out of my side, and a lot of people were like, "Thank you, Moxley," and they were doing that as he was like walking away. Because, I mean, two got a tangle. in this one, and it was crazy. But I know you guys said you weren't wild about the Texas Death Match stipulation. Now that it's come and gone, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the match, the execution, the final moments, all that stuff. Who wants to take the floor first?
My opinion still stands. I
Fair.
don't think it. I think, don't get me wrong, I don't think they're like, we're gonna do Okada and Kenny, or like the tag. I don't think they were gonna be wrestling around in holds, no matter what, even if it was just a straight up match.
Yeah.
They weren't. They were gonna be brawling. They were gonna be fighting. There was probably gonna be blood, which I think you can do. You can get away. He can get busted open on the ring post and all this stuff in legal ways, and it still be a knockdown, drag out fight, and like down and dirty. So I don't think it needed it. That said, like, I am warming into it a little bit more after all is said and done, because I'm like, I get it. As much as we didn't like the Death Riders, just kind of the one note story it was telling for months. The theme we do have to remember was that, like, yeah, Mox's whole thing was the baddest, toughest, iron sharpens iron, grittiest motherfuckers on this planet are the ones who should be holding this title, or is the one who should be holding this title. So it does fit that narratively. I don't love things like beds of spikes and a lot of that stuff.
Oh, you mean this one?
Again, I'm a little bit of an old head in that regard, but I get how it fit narratively. These two killed each other, killed it. All the brouhaha with interferences happened like we knew it would. But a hell of a moment to have Hangman win like that, and they missed opportunity not coming out on a horse, but whatever.
He came out to the old theme, which was cool.
Did.
And they, again, I know it's the thing that you guys don't care about, but it's the thing that Hangman, the character, and also the wrestler cares about, was the stupid side entrance where they entered and exited out of. The camera was waiting for Hangman on the left side, and then he didn't come out. And then the camera swooped over to the right side, and then there he was with his white gear and his music, and like.
What do you mean we don't care? What are you saying we don't care about?
You guys said you didn't care about the entrance, like the whole bad guy, good guy entering the venue, which side it was.
No, I don't like it as a overall.
It was used really well there.
Yeah, I think that's a cool way to use it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to misspeak, but I just remember we had a conversation about how you guys said it was silly, but I thought it was like a little thing like that, a good story bit,
that's
Jake.
A cool thing.
Yeah, it just adds to it. That said, though, Hanger gets the big one, Jake. He wins it. He frees the title from the clutches of the Death Riders. What'd you think of the match, and where do you think things go from here?
I'm kind of in the same. I still have the same feelings as Matt of that. Like I still don't think that it needed the Texas Death Match stuff. It's still just a great story that I wish would have just stood on its own. That said, it was still fun, and it's still
really
like
good
the
run-ins.
Outcome was
well.
you had good run-ins, sure,
tied to the overall story. With Darby and with Bryanson coming back. I mean, Blue Panther.
Yeah, Darby coming in like SpongeBob was a little just hanging from the.
Yeah, that was. He was up there for a minute, by the way. People were noticing it in the venue. They were like, "Yo, there's Darby," and then you could see him. He was dangling for. My guy was there for a hot minute, man. His back must have been killing him.
I had to have been, But it still was fun, and it still got the outcome that we needed. I like the little nods or the little details of like when he took the title out, it still had Bryan's plates on the side. Stuff like that. It was a little ironic that it seemed like he couldn't get the briefcase open, and that the briefcase was stuck. And I was like, well, boy, if that doesn't sum up the whole Death Rider storyline.
Also, they needed to get the key. The key wasn't there.
Yeah.
Which is why, and if you go and you see him opening up the first time, you realize he doesn't have the key. and then someone ran down. I saw him just go and grab it and chuck the key in before the camera like caught them. And then you could see the key just like on the side of the apron. And then he finally grabs it, opens it. But yeah, I didn't notice the Brian plate thing. That I didn't know. So that was kind of cool, actually. I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, it seems like this is definitely the American Dragon, and not. Yeah, you can see the dragon detail over on the side here too. That's kind of cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
But my hope here is that, and I'm afraid that it's probably not going to be this way. I hope the Death Riders are dead.
I don't think the Death Riders are dead, but I don't think that they're going to be anywhere near the title moving forward. It seems like they're trios bound.
I think they will dissipate too. I think it will be. I don't think it was deleted that night, but I think this causes the downfall.
Yeah, I think so too, but I just don't think that. I mean, there's no reason for them to be involved in the main title picture anymore, because what can Mox say?
Yeah,
we did the exact match type that you wanted. Like, you had all your cronies there, and it doesn't matter. You took the L. You're done. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. That alone is why I think it's probably done in the main title picture, is not because he pinned him, but Mox quit.
Yeah, Moxley tapped.
That's a big deal. I think that was the smartest way for him to win, was to tap him out.
Yeah.
As much as the buckshot is kind of iconic of Hangman at this point. Also, I totally flew past me until I saw it pointed out online.
Hangman
is his name.
Yeah.
And somebody pointed out it was a direct callback to their Texas death match like 2 years ago at Revolution, or 3 years ago or something. Hanging Moxley with the chain or whatever.
Yep.
So like that's a cool little callback too.
And it was also how he got his name. It was a Ring of Honor or something like that match where he fought, I forget who it was, and he like hung him with the bull rope, and that was like how he got the name Hangman. So yeah, it was a cool moment. And of course, Hangman Adam Page is now the new 2-time AEW World Champion. We'll see what happens tonight on Dynamite, because there's going to be some fireworks for sure, both positive for Hangman, I'm sure negative, because you know what, MJF's probably going to rear his ugly head out there, and we'll see what happens with that. So we'll be keeping eyes on it, but it is truly...
And that'll be interesting. The other reason that'll be interesting too is because he's going to have to deal with another faction now.
Yeah.
And so how are the people around him? How are they going to respond?
And also,
are they going to respond?
Are the Hurt Syndicate interested in going after Hangman? You know what I mean? Like, will they even have MJF's back as he goes after the Triple B? Like, there's a lot of story there that is yet to be explored. All right, so that takes us to our next topic. And while there was a lot going on in the world of WWE this week, I don't want to say it was like crazy and there was like so much. There was one big thing that did happen, though, without a doubt, and we have to acknowledge it. Naomi is the new world heavyweight champion, the women's world champion. Which was pretty freaking cool. We've been anticipating this for a while, for her to cash in that Money in the Bank, but she didn't cash it in on Tiffany Stratton like we thought she would. Instead, she cashed it in on the women's world champion Iyo Sky, who defended it against Rhea Ripley in a banger of a match. I mean, again, Iyo Sky might be the best professional wrestler on planet Earth right now. So, that there's just no other way around it. But yeah, let's talk about this real fast, because here we go. Naomi's the women's world champion. This is the biggest thing. We didn't see this happening. It's setting up a triple threat at Mania. Fellas, do we see a long reign for our queen, Naomi?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Longer. I don't think it's some year-long thing or whatever, but I think it ain't ending at SummerSlam. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think maybe we get to later this year, and maybe a Jade Cargill, that's her crowning moment is Naomi. You know what I mean? Bring that full circle. I don't know, but I do. At least a good couple of months, at the very
Question
least.
though, Jade Cargill won the Queen of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does she challenges
Tiffany, I believe.
So she has
it's
to
the
challenge
champion
Tiffany.
of your show, I think.
Yeah, I think you have
They
to
weren't
do
super clear.
because
Okay.
because Naomi made the point last night on Raw to basically say, you know, to Bianca and to Jade, you know, hey, good luck with all that crap on SmackDown. I'm done being over there. I'm over here now. So
Okay.
yeah, so that might be done.
Okay.
I
Cool.
think that might be done.
I mean, for now, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
see where things go. But that is the current trajectory. Naomi also cut a great promo on Raw. You're really seeing the character come out here. It's
Yes.
great. She's crazy.
Yeah.
She's leaning into it, Jake. She even said it. She was like, "Everyone thinks they know what Naomi's gonna do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do." It was
Yeah.
very R-Truth,
Which I love. I love it. I love just this agent of chaos that Naomi has become.
Yeah.
I think it's so much fun. I think it's the exact shot of life that she needed in her career and her career trajectory, and she's playing it so well. I mean, she really is playing it so well. Even like her social media stuff
Yeah.
has been hilarious, has been great. And again, this is just a well-deserved, overdue.
That's why she
moment
changed her
for
name to
her.
Fatu, bro. That's why
Yeah,
she changed her name to
exactly,
Fatu. A genius.
exactly.
That's so funny. There was also another thing that happened, an unfortunate thing. Seth Rollins is injured. Happened during the match against LA Knight. Seems like it was that same knee that has kept creeping up on him. It's definitely thrown a wrench into the storyline that they were working on with Paul Heyman. But we did find out that Seth Rollins will not be relinquishing the Money in the Bank briefcase, and instead Paul Heyman will hold on to it because they can for a year, quote unquote. But that does mean that we need to figure out where things went and where things are going. CM Punk is now the number one contender. He's going to fight Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, and the OTC Roman Reigns is back. I think this isn't all that shocking, Matt, because, you lose Seth Rollins, a pretty big player. You're going to need to bring out some muscle, and Roman Reigns is the perfect guy to bring up in this situation. Where do you see him fitting in this? Because, there's obviously a lot of places this can go, but CM Punk's fighting for that world title. It's not Roman Reigns.
No, that's for sure. I don't think he gets inserted into a three-way match or whatever. I think it's honestly, at SummerSlam, reestablish Roman. Unfortunately, maybe at the expense of the Vision or whatever they're being called now. But could you see us in it? Roman versus both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker in a handicap match?
Oh, damn.
Oh wow.
I mean, then Roman's gonna win.
Well, it
but
seems like it's
I
going to be
don't know,
Jay. It seems like it'll be him and Jay teaming up.
That's true. Could be a tag match. That's right. That's a good point. I totally brushed over that.
Yeah, because Jay was there to save, and then that's when Roman came out. So I'm assuming Jay is still very much. They're still keeping Jay mixed up with that team, with the Vision.
That's a very good point. So yeah, I could see something very easily put together like that. And Cope, I hope you're watching. That's how you do a return run-in. He walked with purpose, went right into the ring and started whooping ass.
But Cope's got to throw up the horns, bro. How else does the
didn't
fireworks go off?
He didn't throw up the one. No, he was there to take care of business before he does the ooh-ah and all this stuff. All right.
This is fair. You're right. Cope, you got to take some notes from Roman. It's crazy. What a time to be alive. I mean, there's not much more to break down here. Maybe we get some more details on SmackDown. We're going a little lighter on WWE this week because we don't have a lot of time. But we got to talk about TNA.
I do want to mention two things, though, from this weekend.
Go for it.
For WWE. First of all, I was disappointed at how short-lived the build-up to Evolution was.
Yeah.
It felt like a half-assed pay-per-view leading up to it.
Yeah.
And it's furthermore disappointing that it felt like they didn't really market it or advertise it or build for it as much, when Evolution was maybe the best WWE pay-per-view of the entire year so far.
was
And I
really
don't
good.
say that with hyperbole. It was or hyperbole, as JR would say.
JR.
It was phenomenal. The whole event was great.
Yeah.
Evolution was great, and the crowd was fantastic. It was such a great crowd. It was such a great environment. The women brought their A game, proved how great women's wrestling is. I cannot. I have to give credit to the women in the women's division. Like, they brought it, and
Yeah.
it was so great to see. I just wish WWE had done it more justice than they did. Because
Somebody pointed that out, man. Yeah, they said they're like, in my mind, like this weekend, despite everything that happened, it was a tale of two shows. All In, which was built up, their biggest, Mania-like show, all these stories concluding, and it paid off. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one, kind of the opposite situation, thrown together, last minute shove onto this already packed weekend. A bit of a on paper, a novelty pay-per-view, maybe for some.
Yeah.
It's all women or whatever, which is not a fair way to put it, though. But and then without a lot of like meat behind it, and it delivered 10 times past what
Yes.
people probably on paper thought it would.
Yeah.
And so like somebody was like, yeah, this is better, but this show came off better than Backlash and
It was so
the Night of
well-paced.
Champions and all this stuff. Like, yeah, like maybe you should start trying to think less about some of your pay-per-views,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
Maybe.
just market them more.
Well,
I
because
don't
also,
know.
what they did, like 7 or 8 matches, I think it was.
7.
They did 7 matches.
I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
A lot of
Like,
people were saying
and-
that, like, the WWE's like
Yeah,
3,
it was
4 match
great.
structure is like cool and all, but like
Mhm.
sometimes you just want good matches, and a good build.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And the one,
oh, go for it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Go for it.
Well, I was just gonna say the one last thing that I want to mention from the weekend for WWE is I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but the Goldberg match was entertaining.
Yeah.
Goldberg
Good on him,
did
man.
exactly what he needed. Like, this is exactly the match that he needed to have. I mean, like, it was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. I mean, like, given how, like, look, when I was a kid, we've talked about this, the biggest Goldberg fan, even into
Sure.
like the early 2000s, huge Goldberg fan. And then it became an aura thing that, like, it's hard to maintain the aura of being an unstoppable force when you're 58 years old. But and I got to give him credit. Like,
Yeah.
this,
You have to.
like,
Yeah, it was good.
He performed
Yeah.
in this match.
What bums me out is that this should have been a weekend where we could have celebrated Goldberg and on his own without overcrowding it with everything else. But for some reason, TKO felt so compelled, and I feel like it's also reflective of Evolution as well, where it felt like the desire to get one over on AEW came at the behest of their performers, but yet their performers continue to show that the reason why they're highly respected and why so many people enjoy what they do. So I would hope, and I don't think, because it's capitalism and it destroys everything, but I do think, and I would hope that TKO learned something from this, that maybe we don't do things like that and we let everyone shine. But that's just not how corporate America works.
You're
in Trump's
expecting
America.
a corporation to learn a lesson.
Yeah, I'm expecting decency. Well, what a shame. In any case, though, yes, if there's one thing we can't pull away from this weekend, is that when professional wrestlers are asked to go out there and do their thing and give us their all, doesn't matter what brand they are part of, they give us their all. And this is the reason why we love wrestling, and why
Hell of a weekend of wrestling.
Why we always love
Hell of a
talking about wrestling the way that we talk about wrestling, because it should be a celebration of this shit, because it's freaking awesome. We shouldn't be tearing each other down. So in any case,
but it was a hell of a weekend for wrestling, and it's about to be a hell of another weekend for wrestling, because we got mother flipping TNA Slammiversary.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right. Just like Jake said, it's now time for TNA Slammiversary. Now, we talked about at the beginning of the show, not the biggest TNA show, but it is the biggest TNA show.
It is.
You know, I want to be clear here. It's a big show, but, you know, according to Matt, you know, I'm joking.
But you could miss it if you wanted to miss it. I mean, you know.
no. This is not a show you want to miss.
No, it is not.
We don't want to, we have to kind of get out of here in a little bit, so we don't want to waste a lot of time here. So let's go ahead and dive into the card and talk about some of the matches, because we have a lot of great matches on the docket here. First up, there's a big one that's going to take place. Cedric Alexander going up against Mustafa Ali. This is one of the matches that we're going to be highlighting here, because this has been Mustafa Ali, a really interesting story, but there is a wrinkle in all of this that just happened, and I don't know what to do, man. Matt, Tasha, what's going on with Tasha Steelz? She low blows Cedric Alexander. She was on the phone with him for weeks. What's happening here, man?
I mean, she explained a little bit, and I'm sure there'll be more to come together, but she basically orchestrated this whole ruse of like split of like, because she saw Mustafa Ali crashing out post Mike Santana, right? Losing it, starting to lose it. He started to take it out on his own team. And so she started calling Cedric. And I love this wrinkle. It looks like it's a swerve just for a swerve, but it's not. This is Ali and all these guys thinking about it. So her thinking is that she calls the one guy who Ali couldn't beat in his formative years and the biggest stage he had before this, WrestleMania back in New Orleans, 205 Live, all that stuff. The one man he couldn't beat. So to get him back on track, to get Order 4 back on track, she needs to find a way to get Cedric here, put him in the crosshairs of Ali, set him up, and then knock him down to restore the Ali they once knew.
Interesting.
And she knew she couldn't, she had to do it on her own. She had to make it feel real and all that, right? So
where does that leave Skylar and Hotch in all of this, though?
They were unaware too. She kind of used them as pawns. And I love this though, because like it is a wool, but it elevates Tasha as like oh shit.
Yeah, she's
like,
a master
manipulator. She's a bit of a
Mm-hmm.
mastermind. We should
The
take her more
ringleader.
seriously,
Mhm.
as opposed to just the press secretary or the manager of the group. So yeah,
Ooh.
I thought it was a neat wrinkle.
Okay, who we think wins this match?
Women be trifling, man.
Okay. Shauna, where are you?
She's not here. That's why I can say it.
Who wins the match, fellas? Who do we think walks away? I think it's got to be Mustafa Ali. He's got to finally get that moment. What if he doesn't? I mean, the crash out will be spectacular.
I mean, it would be wild. Yeah, then I think Order 4 would definitely implode.
Yeah, but when has a win ever kept Ali from crashing out anyway? Like he's gonna crash out. Like, I don't know. That's the thing. That's what's been so interesting about Ali, is that he's just kind of been this despicable little shit for quite some time, right? And then the second you think he's going to learn his lesson, it just pushes him harder into his own beliefs.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what the outcome is here, he's either gonna like, go on this self-destructive tour of like just throwing himself at everything and everybody, or he's just going to be a even more power hungry dictator. So that said, I don't mind which outcome there is.
Yeah, I'm fine with either one.
It's still going to be entertaining with Ali either way.
Yeah. I think
I
Ali
do,
wins.
however, think it's going to be Ali.
Yeah, I think Ali wins, but either way, you got yourself a really, really good story.
Matt, your thought? No, I'm just joking.
Matt,
I actually don't know. I don't have. This is not. We haven't taped this. I haven't even seen any kind of paper. I don't know anything for sure.
Okay,
Legitimately,
a likely story. Let's move forward here. We have another singles match, a good grudge match here. We got Tessa Blanchard, Indi Hartwell. They've been clashing for a little while. Tessa and Victoria Crawford are kind of a thing right now. They're working together, and Indi Hartwell has been someone in their sights. I believe this is going to be the second or the first pay-per-view debut. Is this the Indies' first or second TNA pay-per-view?
For
It's her first, I
Wrestling.
think.
I mean, well, for pay-per-view, so she competed at Against All Odds. So she's been on one of our PLEs before, yes.
Yeah.
But for first appearance on one of our big 4 shows, yes.
Okay, so this is a big one for her,
But not the biggest.
but not the biggest.
It will be the biggest.
This is going to be a big one for her.
We just opened up more seats.
I think though Tessa wins this. I think it's more compelling if Tessa picks up the win. She's due for a big win. But also I could see shenanigans playing a role in this, but I don't know why, but unless they just don't want her to win and Victoria Crawford comes in, I can see Victoria getting involved basically. I
want to see more threats established in the knockouts division. So I want to see Indi win this one.
Okay. Indi. Okay. We got a split. What about you, Matt? Indi, Tessa, who do you think?
I'm kind of with you, GB. I think Tessa's had a couple of high profile matches, but aside from her first win over Jordan Grace, it's been a lot of defeats. So I do think even if it's not a title match, I think she needs a high profile win, or doesn't need. Nobody needs, but could use. I think she could use a high profile win to hold over people's heads.
All right. Well, we'll see what the results are of that one, but that is going to be a great matchup. And it's just been great to see Indi Hartwell doing her thing in TNA. It's been super fun to watch. Next up, we have one of our title matches. This one we've been anticipating for a while. It's the X Division title, and it's Moose versus Leon Slater. Finally, Leon Slater gets to redemption. We saw Leon Jake be robbed in real time before our very eyes.
I know.
And now he gets that opportunity. Does Leon Slater make history? Does he become, I believe this will be the youngest, right? It would be the youngest X Division champion of all time. Does he do it?
I think that this Sunday, Leon Slater is going to say later, hater. And he's going to win the X Division championship. Give me Leon Slater.
Yeah.
Please.
Got to.
He has the win.
The division has the talent now. Like TNA's got a lot of great wrestlers under their umbrella right now, and X Division, like Leon Slater, dude. I just want to see Leon Slater bring the X Division title, have matches with guys like on NXT, against like what's his face, Javon. Forget his last name, but Evan, Javon Evans. That kid is phenomenal. Truly a generational talent in the making. Then you also have a lot of other individuals that he could clash with on the TNA side as well. I was always hyping up KC Navarro. I see a clear pathway here for KC and Leon Slater to be clashing against one another. So, Matt, do you think Leon gets the win?
I mean, he's got to. I really this is the moment. This is the moment.
Yeah.
This huge show. I mean, it's not going to be at Emergence or even. I don't think if it's Bound for Glory, it's too late. I think he turns 21 or whatever, and the record needs to be set by like September or something like that.
Yeah.
To be the youngest.
And it feels like a good opportunity for them to do it. Why not? Why not?
I think so.
What do you lose from this? Right.
He's got the crowd behind him. He's got, he's shown that he's ready.
Yeah.
He's shown that he's ready. And I think it's time for
and what I want is for Moose to go back into that main event spotlight, because there's still some beef between him and one of the people who we think could very well win the World Championship, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I have some theories there. But yeah, so Leon Slater, we think, is going to walk away with the win and become the youngest TNA X Division champion this Sunday at Slammiversary. We have 2 tag matchups that are, we'll just kind of give our prediction rather than spend enough time on them. First up, we have the men's tag match. It's going to be a big one. We have the Rascals, the Nemesis, the Hardys in First Class in a ladder match to determine who becomes the TNA tag champions. And look, ladder match, lots of things can happen in a ladder match. My eyes get immediately drawn to the fact that you have the Hardys in a ladder match, so it is a very easy one to go for here. Should the Nemeths, though, drop the tag titles right now? I don't think so. And I want to stick with the Nemeths, so that's what I'm going for.
I could see that. My gut, same with you, says Hardy. We kind of just did that at Bound for Glory last year. They won in a Full Metal Mayhem, lots of ladders involved. They kind of proved that they could still do it. Here, they're telling that story again. You know, they lost the titles, and they've been telling this story of like, can we still do this as the Hardys, as a tag team of brothers? Blah blah blah. So while the easy, like the 101 in me says, yeah, okay, then they triumph the odds. They're still pretty good. They're still going in there with all these guys. They've proven it, but like from a story, I think it might be more interesting if they don't do it.
Yeah.
And then they have to ask themselves, like, what's next? Maybe do we try? Because they've been very clear about like, we're in the latter years of our career, right? Obviously, they're not making any bones about that. So like, do we try to go each one last solo run, you know, before we hang it up, sort of thing? Like, see what we can do one more time on our own. I don't know. So I think maybe the Nemets keep it, because I think so. There's a question mark on Trey. He may still be out. Well, we won't know until the day of. Myron Reed may step in.
Okay.
Casey is dealing with an injury, but has been cleared to compete. So like they're working at a disadvantage. So I think your front runners are Nemets to retain or the Hardys.
Yeah. Okay. Jake, what about you?
Oh man, I'm kind of torn because I do kind of agree that I think the Nemets should keep their run going. But one thing that I don't know that comes to mind that would be kind of interesting is to see if the Hardys can't win it, if they somehow help the Rascals win. I think it'd be cool if there was some kind of moment of them sacrificing themselves in order to help the Rascals or something. So like almost a passing of the torch kind of moment in a way, I think would be super cool. I'd love to see the Rascals get the titles. But I don't know the direction of the Nemets right now if they don't have those titles.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's going to end up staying with them.
And I don't think that's a bad thing, because if anything, it is.
No, I don't either, because they've been great. They've been great heels.
Yeah, it just kind of shows that the division's got good tag teams right now, and we got 4 tag teams that could very well win it. But the Nemets sitting at the top of the division right now does a great job establishing them. Speaking of, our other tag match on the women's side, it's not going to be some multi-person match. Instead, it's going to be a straight up one. It's the Inspiration going up against the Elegance brand. And, I think that I wouldn't mind it if the Inspiration won this. Elegance have had it for a while. But I also wouldn't mind if Elegance wins this through shady means, like we know that they're going to, and then we kind of keep this going for a while. So I'm going Elegance for the win.
I'm going the Inspiration.
Okay, Inspiration.
Because look, let's not act like the Inspiration aren't crafty themselves.
For sure.
I would love to see the Elegance brand, like you said, try to pull some shenanigans, but the Inspiration being like one step ahead of it.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I think that would. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards them. For like you said, Elegance brand has had the titles for a little while. I could see Ash getting involved again in the main title picture, and maybe they go after that after. But I don't know. I just feel I'm so happy that the Inspiration are back. I'd love to see them get the win, so I'm going to call it for them.
All right.
I'm inspired.
He's inspired. Matt, are you inspired?
I'm almost like contractually obligated to support the Elegance brand.
You kind of have to at this point. You've laid a lot of.
To Jake's point, we've already seen it happen on TV. Ash won that Battle Royal for a future Knockouts World title match. So like that's already kind of primed and set potentially. So an easy way to divert her away from the tag division would be to drop the titles here.
Yeah.
So,
and then
I think the Inspiration might do it.
Okay. All right. Well, we got 2 for inspiration, 1 for elegance. Let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this one, since we're split in our decision. The Knockouts World Championship. It will be Masha Slamovitch going up against NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne in a winner-take-all matchup. And if I am a betting man, I am going to go with Masha because it only seems fair. So that's where I'm going, Masha, because it only seems fair. But I can also see this ending in disqualification. That does feel like a possibility with
I would really hope not. And a stage this big,
I would hope
one of
not
our biggest
either.
shows of the year, that would be a really crummy finish.
Yeah.
I feel like this was set up to make some history. Because either which way it goes, you make history. Someone to hold both a TNA and a WWE title simultaneously never happened. And quite frankly, if it does go that way of Masha, because we did see Trick hold a TNA title, Masha winning kind of one-ups that headline a little bit, because it's not just somebody from another company winning that. It's holding both from 2 different companies, which we know what they did with AEW briefly, but like WWE's never done that.
And we never did this with the women. This has not been a thing done with the women for a while. So
big headlines there if you go that way. So I do think Masha has the advantage there.
Which also good on Masha. I hope it does happen that way, because she's definitely been, I think, a trooper throughout this whole run, because she's been constantly on NXT, constantly fighting. Like, she's hadn't really had much story to kind of get going, and then finally we're like, pulling at this, and it feels like a great opportunity here. Jake, do you agree that it's a good time?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think it is. Women's wrestling got a lot of attention this weekend, both with WWE's Evolution and with matches on AEW's All In card, and I think this is a great time to do it. I think to me, when Jacy Jayne won at Evolution, I was like, Masha's got it.
Yeah.
I think Masha's got it. Which, by the way, I mean, Jordan, haven't we learned not to trust Blake Monroe?
I mean, at what point, dude?
You would think.
Come on.
Clearly, someone wasn't watching AEW. Am I right?
You're better than that. I'm going to go with Slamovitch to hold both titles. I think that would be awesome.
Masha Slamovitch will be the unified TNA NXT Knockouts Women's. I wonder how they're going to call that one. That's going to be crazy.
Jacy Jayne would be endlessly entertaining as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, she's been great. I do want to give her some flowers, man. I have enjoyed, and Jacy Jayne is like this, the just very typical heel approach with the faction. It's just great. Simple stuff makes me happy. I'm a big fan of that.
But what it feels like to me is that this is setting up Jordan to win the TNA, or win the NXT women's title back from the person she lost her TNA title to.
That could be good. Yeah, I had that same thought.
Yeah, that could be some fun storytelling.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then you get Blake Monroe right in there. That now brings us to our final match of the card. And again, if you haven't already realized it, this card is stacked, but goodness gracious, this matchup is going to freaking be a giga banger. Joe Hendry, Trick Williams, Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. It's going down in Long Island, it's going down in New York, Mike Santana's backyard. It feels like the recipe is all there to freaking do it, to put the belt on the Boricua, to finally have him win that singles championship that he has so desperately wanted since he's gone and left the Proud and Powerful, left LAX. This is it, guys. Does the Illis finally get his moment in the sun? Does Mike Santana become champion? I'm going with Mike. You already know. It's just easy. Fellas, where are we going here?
Oh, man.
Speak at once.
I mean, it's
giving Jake the floor.
This is going to be such a fun match. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see how this match goes. I think we're going to get a lot of story out of this. We're going to have I think we can have some real fun storylines come off of this, no matter what the outcome is.
Sure.
I think ultimately, though, I'm going to give it to Santana.
Okay. All right.
I'm giving it to Santana.
All right. We're giving it to
I
Santana.
don't
giving
sound
it to
too sad
Santana.
about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's time. I think the real deal
You want to
becomes the
think there's
real
like
deal
a
and gets that
swerve
title.
somewhere here, right? You want to think that there's something that could happen. Maybe Joe gets it again. Maybe Trick is wily and squeaks by with it. But it just feels right for Mike to get it, Matt. But are we missing something?
No, I don't think so. Like, again, we talk about predictable doesn't have to be bad. I do think this is the A game to go with. Could there be a swerve? Again, I legitimately don't know. Yeah, I think you have such a great dichotomy or trichotomy, I should say, of characters all fighting for different things. You have Trick Williams is fighting for ego, for stature, for prestige, of ruling over another kingdom, so to speak. Joe Hendry is fighting for redemption for himself, for the mistake he made. He feels the misstep he feels like he took.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Mike Santana, sure for himself, but like, is a somebody who's made his name fighting for others, his family, his daughter, his sobriety. Now he's literally fighting for TNA to restore glory to that title, to bring it back home. So that's the story in my mind. And I think it's such a smart cap off of his tale recently, and to see him and New York
and also, I mean, I think the other thing too is that a lot of people who might be new to TNA might not know that Mike Santana very much made his name in TNA.
Yeah.
So like you can call him a TNA OG. Like, yeah, sure, he was like one of the original people who showed up to AEW, but like, dude has been in TNA. He was in TNA just as long as he was in AEW, if not longer, I believe. So, especially now. So, like, the man loves TNA. It's very clear, and there's a great angle, as you said, with what he's fighting for versus what Joe's fighting for versus what Trick's fighting for. This match is gonna bang. I'm so excited. If you don't get the pay-per-view, you're insane, because this match is gonna be it's worth the price of admission, in my opinion, in of itself. All right, so Mike Santana, we're calling it here. It's a rebook guarantee. Oh dear, we'll see how that works out, because you never know, man. It's always, I'm so nervous for this one. And of course, it takes us to the end of our show, which means it's time for the Rebooked 24/7 Champion of the Week. Week. This is, of course, where we talk about the thing that brought us the most joy in the world this week. Doesn't have to be pro wrestling related. Doesn't have to be anything related. Could be you woke up and felt like you had a good mood. Anything. I will go first because we didn't talk about it. Just go watch the Superman movie.
God damn it, that was mine
incredible.
too.
It's fine.
Go see Superman.
It was amazing.
It is so good.
I cried like a baby so many
He did.
times.
I was there.
He was there. There was a moment there where I thought about my
synced it.
stepfather and the things he said to me as a kid growing up, and oh my God, I was in tears. It was amazing. I'm gonna go watch it again. It was phenomenal. And I knew it was going to be yours, Jake. So I figured, why did you love the Superman movie so much? Enough of me. Why did you love it?
Look, there have been some phenomenal actors that have portrayed Superman. This is the first Superman since Christopher Reeve that I just wanted to give a hug.
Yeah.
And that's who Superman should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman should be approachable.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about this Superman is they instead of giving a super being a metahuman human characteristics, they gave a human Superman's powers.
Yeah.
That's what made this one so special. And it was such a tight story. There were no wasted moments. Like it was so well paced. It's a great movie. And also Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor,
Nailed it.
he is a level of hater I aspire to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
We thought AJ Styles was a hater. No.
Yeah.
Bro.
Lex Luthor is the biggest hater in the world.
Everybody, Rachel Brosnahan was great in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
Was just that.
Stole the show.
I mean, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Skylar Gazondo as Jimmy Olsen was phenomenal. Like everybody who played their part played it perfectly. You have to go see the movie.
Have you seen it, Matt? You haven't seen it yet?
No, not yet. I do want to.
Yeah, we're not. We shouldn't say much more because you don't want to spoil it.
Crypto.
Oh,
fun fact: after the premiere of Superman, searches for how to adopt dogs online have gone up 500%.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Well, I hope they actually adopt dogs.
Don't shop.
And like, also pit bulls are dogs too, and they need love. So, don't just shy away from them just because they don't look like Crypto, because there are a lot of people out there who are really crappy and don't want to. All dogs are perfect, damn it.
He's so cute.
All dogs are perfect.
I'm looking at him right now. He's
I know, he really is. Matt, you already know me and Jake's. What's yours?
I guess I didn't have anything too locked in coming into this episode. So because we didn't talk a whole lot about it, we did a little bit, but like, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't think any of us are his biggest fan, but I'll throw the flowers to Goldberg.
Yeah.
I mean, an incredibly indelible effect on the wrestling business at one of its hottest points. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a reason he's kept getting the reactions he gets. Again, we may not be his biggest fan as a wrestler and everything, but he gets the reactions he gets, even only showing up once every couple of years because of the impact he made. So,
and my football number is his football number.
Dude, yeah. So flowers to him for sure.
Yeah. You know what though?
I like that line.
I'm a bigger Bret Hart fan. So Superman.
I'm giving it to James Gunn.
I'm giving it to Superman. No, but seriously, I mean, Goldberg definitely, taught us what Aura was before Aura was even a thing.
Yeah,
and
sure.
and certainly had found a character at a point in time that I think really was cool, resonated with a lot of people. And those old Goldberg shirts still go hard as hell to this day. So, yes, Goldberg, you are a legend, but I got to give it to Superman. I'm sorry, guys, because there you go.
If it's any indication of where the new DCU is going, buckle up.
Oh, yeah. And I do want to say one last thing on it. Read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say. Read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. What an incredible freaking book. And the inspiration for some stuff that's coming up down the line. Just saying. It's going to be great. It's crazy. There's so much. I also have been reading Superman Rebirth, All-Star Superman, Red Kingdom Come. I've just been on binge. It's been amazing. Read comic books, watch professional wrestling,
you need to post
play video
a list
games.
Of your best Superman.
Me or
you. You need to post that. Your best. So those
All-Star
of us
Superman is number one. All-Star Superman is number one. That one is really, really good. But then I'll make the rest of it. I'll post it on the Rebooked Discord. Which, by the way, join the Rebooked Discord. You can do all that stuff by checking us out at www.rebookedpod.com. Once again, that's www.rebookedpod.com. If you happen to enjoy this episode, you're watching on YouTube, why don't you give us a like? You can also subscribe to it. You can also follow us across all the different social media platforms. All you got to do is look for Rebooked Pod. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week for another installment of Rebooked. See you then, folks. Peace.